What the hell is up, everybody? Richie here, back again with yet another video. I know, I don't like the way I look in hats. Oh my god, what the hell did it just do? Anyways, so we're here to talk about the Royal Rumble, which transpired on a Saturday, not a Sunday. These Saturday pay-per-views are a lot better because we don't have to stay up late on a Sunday for those of us who have work. Thank you so much, WWE, for taking the action and doing the right thing in making your pay-per-views or premium live event, whatever the it's called now. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about the Royal Rumble and why it sucked. Not particularly the entire show, but the Royal Rumble matches themselves. Although more specifically the men's as opposed to the women's, but we'll get to that. But first, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. As I made mention in my previous video, which was talking about Shane McMahon's sudden release. If you haven't seen that, I will leave the link in the description box down below. I'm going to be trying something new. I got a couple of ideas brewing for this channel and a couple of my other channels as well, which I will also leave in the description box down below, the links to those. Anyways, so pretty much the night kicked off with the Universal title match, which I was pretty shocked. Roman Reigns came out first, which I thought was interesting because the champion always comes out last. It's usually the opponent, then the champion. So I was like, oh, that's a little odd. And then right after that, Seth Rollins and his petty ass decided to come out in the Shield attire with the Shield music through the crowd, which was huge pop. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It fits the character, and it also fits the story. There was a lot of callbacks, a lot of things that harkened back to some of their previous encounters, their past, their storied history. As we all know, they were in the Shield, of course. Seth Rollins turning his back on his brothers, and I don't think Roman Reigns ever really forgave him for that, even though that was back in 2014. All these years later, there's just that long-term storytelling that a lot of us wrestling fans desire to see, especially from WWE, because they don't do it often, or if at all. So that was a very nice touch. And then, of course, the match ended in disqualification, which I actually didn't mind for once. A lot of matches tend to lean on the DQ finish, and they go about it the wrong way. I felt like in this instance it was done correctly. Seth Rollins got under the skin of Roman Reigns so much so that he felt that he couldn't defeat him, I suppose, and decided to do what he did to him and his brother, and that was nail him in the back with a steel chair a good couple of times. So it's interesting that, you know, with the way that this pay-per-view transpired and what's going to happen at Elimination Chamber, we don't know yet, of course, at the time of this recording, but they're going with Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar Part 1000, and I feel like this could have been a great setup. As opposed to having a WWE title match in Saudi in Elimination Chamber, it could have been a #1 contender match. You know, Seth Rollins could have said, hey, you know what, F it, I was super close to defeating Roman. I want to insert myself into his match with Lesnar, and it could have been a triple threat match. That way it keeps things fresh and exciting, although this recent run of Brock Lesnar has been completely different. So I think come WrestleMania, if they do stick with that match, the crowd will definitely be on Lesnar's side, just because he's been showing a completely different personality and just a different side of himself that we haven't seen, really, and it's been a lot of fun. So I guess there is that saving grace. However, it's repetitive, you know? So I guess we'll have to see what happens. I do believe, oh my gosh, my memory's shot, but I think we had the women's Royal Rumble match. I might be missing a few things. If I do, it's clearly not important and I don't give a shit about it. But we had the women's Royal Rumble match, which I thought was a lot of fun. Even though they did announce a lot of the participants or entrants that were going to be in the women's Rumble match itself, I thought it was still relatively fun to see some of these legends come back. I thought it was nice to see Lita. She looked pretty good. Ivory in the right to censor gimmick. Woman is 60 years old, but that was a really fun spot. I thought that was very funny. There was just a lot of things to enjoy, I felt, in this match. Summer Rae just yelling "F you" as she ran down the ramp to Natty. Hilarious.
5 years from WWE. It's
I don't know. I had a lot of fun with this match. In comparison to the men's, which I will get to in a little bit. But yeah, I really didn't. I don't know. I was more interested in this one than the men's. That's all I can really say. Seeing Mickie James and the Forbidden Door being kicked open was actually pretty cool too. She got a good response from the crowd. Melina coming out second, going up against Sasha Banks. I guess she botched and slipped off the apron. I don't really know what the hell happened, but you can tell she was very happy to be there. I don't think she's been in the WWE since 2011 or something like that. And, of course, number 28, Ronda Rousey, which she got a very large reception from the crowd when her music hit. And she went on to win the Women's Royal Rumble match 4 months after giving birth. So I believe after she gave birth, she started training to get back in shape and come back to the WWE. Something that she mentioned on social media that she really missed. I didn't really mind Ronda Rousey winning. I do understand people lamenting the fact that she won over somebody who's been busting their ass. Completely understand. But I guess we'll see where this goes. There's reports that Ronda Rousey is going to challenge Charlotte Flair, which I don't give a flying about. The story is right in front of them. Just do Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. That's it. Moving forward, there was Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. This was fine. You know, it was what it was. It was just a fun little match. Kind of a bit of a, I would say it was a bit of a filler match. The crowd was feeling it indeed. I mean, it's Edge, it's Beth Phoenix. They both looked great. Maurice looked pretty good too for someone who hasn't really been in the ring quite often. Going back a little bit before I skip over this, after the Women's Rumble match, which was a very odd placement on the card, they had Becky Lynch versus Doudrop for the Raw Women's Championship. Very peculiar to put this match on after the Women's Royal Rumble, because I do feel the crowd was a bit deflated from that match. You know, it's a Rumble match. Everybody gets excited over those matches. And then, of course, with the pyro after Ronda pointing at the sign, the WrestleMania sign decided to catch on fire. There is fan footage. I will insert it into this video, but that ended up distracting a lot of the audience from this match, not to mention that they were a little bit deflated after the Rumble match. So those two elements combined didn't really make for a good environment. I mean, you could tell Becky and Doudrop tried as best as they could, but it kind of took away from the match, and I feel like they could have put Edge, Beth Phoenix, the mixed tag team match on after the Women's Rumble. I don't think it would have really made much of a difference. It was an okay match. It's nothing that we haven't seen before or something that we wouldn't find on Raw. Moving forward to the main event, the reason of the title of this video, the Men's Royal Rumble match. In an absolute dog shit of a Rumble match that I don't think anybody is going to go back and rewatch unless you're like 6 and you don't know jack shit. Before we talk about that though, I almost forgot about the underwhelming Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley match. First and foremost, I am not a Bobby Lashley fan. I don't find the appeal to him. I think he's boring. He's absolutely terrible on the mic. MVP as his mouthpiece is definitely the best thing that's happened to him. But I just don't find the almighty gimmick to be really anything special or unique. I don't know, never been a Bobby Lashley fan since his first run with the company. A lot of people were looking forward to this match for years. You know, it's been a dream match for a lot of people. Me, not so much. Just don't care. And yeah, this match, I feel like, although I was looking forward to two big meaty men slapping meat, it really didn't meet any expectations that I had for this match, and it was already low to begin with. You know, they did a couple of spots where they were like, oh, let's see who's more stronger than the other. They did a couple of dangerous suplexes where they were landing way too close on their neck, and thankfully they both have big, ginormous trap muscles to the point where I would hope it cushioned the impact to their neck. The match ended up with Bobby Lashley now becoming a two-time WWE champion and defeating Brock Lesnar due to interference from Roman Reigns. As we all know, Brock Lesnar won the men's Royal Rumble match. I didn't really necessarily mind the fact that he inserted himself into the match itself. Just the way that they went about it didn't really make any sense. At least have like a little backstage segment where Brock Lesnar's pissed, and then he says to like a backstage interviewer, I'm gonna put myself in a Royal Rumble match. In comparison to the Women's Rumble match, which was earlier in the night, this match was boring. It was maybe about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes into the match, and I was just like, wow, nothing special has happened, nothing interesting. Just a lot of the entrants are very lackluster, or there were just people that came out that were on the roster that, quite frankly, I don't really give a shit about. You know, there are people that they could have used that are just sitting in the bag doing nothing. And then, of course, there's also the 100 people that they released that they could have kept and used them too. But, yeah, that didn't happen. A very ho-hum sort of meh Royal Rumble this year. There were good things about it, of course. You know, I enjoyed the Universal title match. Becky and Doudrop tried. The women's Royal Rumble match I felt was fun. And the mixed tag team match was fun too, for what it was, you know? Just seeing Edge back is so incredible. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of questions going on, you know? Why Lesnar and Reigns for the umpteenth time? Why have a WWE title match at the Chamber instead of having it as a #1 contender spot for somebody who can insert themselves into WrestleMania as one last ditch effort to get onto the card, into like a title match, you know? I guess we'll have to wait and see what they do. I don't think they're gonna budge and make Lesnar and Reigns a triple threat, which is unfortunate. And I don't know what they're gonna do with Bobby. I'm sure he's gonna retain at the Chamber, and I guess we'll see who's gonna challenge him. But in any event, those are my irrelevant thoughts on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. If you disagree, or if you agree, or if you feel indifferent, or feel some other type of way, feel free to sound off in the comment section, or feel free to tweet me. I'll leave my Twitter handle in the description box down below, as well as my Instagram, TikTok, my gaming channel, my film channel, which I have ideas for as well, as I made mention in the beginning of this video. Any and everything in the description box down below, as well as the video I made mention earlier on, in which I discussed Shane McMahon's release. Any and everything, again, in the description box down below. Feel free to sound off in the comment section. I may or may not read it, but I will probably most likely read it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that fun stuff. Love, peace, chicken grease, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.